This season of Medium at Large is brought to you by CeraQuin, the luxe but affordable skincare line your skin's been thirsting for. With not one, not two, but 5 essential ceramides, yes, 5, CeraQuin hydrates, restores, and protects your precious skin barrier. From hydrochloric acid-packed cleansers to collagen-rich lotions, CeraQuin brings your skin back to life. Say goodbye to dryness, say hello to a healthy, radiant glow exclusively at Chemist Warehouse. Let's go.
And people who are close to me can see it. I currently have this, I'm holding on to this sadness that I just want to let go of.
Welcome to Medium at Large. I'm David the Medium, and here you can expect some real, raw, and honest conversations around what spirituality actually means to show you that it's not supernatural, it's actually just supernatural. Each week I sit down with some familiar faces from all walks of life to show you how spirituality shows up for them. No filters, no fluff, just raw human stories around belief, doubt, and everything in between. And yes, every now and then, spirit might show up as well. So whether you're deeply spiritual, deeply skeptical, or somewhere in between, you're in the right place. Hey guys, welcome back to Medium at Large. Do I have a special guest for you today? She's the First Lady of Melbourne. She's a fashion entrepreneur. She's a creative director. She's everything and more. But most importantly, she's also a wife and a mum. Everybody say hello to Rozalia Russian.
Thank you. I feel like I need you at when people ask me, so what do you do? I'll be like, income, and then you can tell them exactly what I do.
I can give you a 15-second clip now. You can just play it on your phone.
Exactly. Really nice intro. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. This is an absolute honour because for those that don't know, which admittedly probably no one does besides you and I, we actually go back quite a long time.
We go back a few readings, yes.
A few readings.
Yep.
When our first reading was 2020, would you believe?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
But also before that, I think I told you this story, but like when we were both working in corporate, have I even told you this?
I don't think so, no.
Oh my gosh, well here's the story for you. It's when we were both working in corporate and I was working for a law firm and you actually used to come into the law firm and drop off documents.
No way.
When you were working for a builder, I think at the time.
He was a property developer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And you used
Yeah.
to come into the reception. I used to be like, who's that girl?
Oh, wow.
So we go
my
back even
God.
longer. Have I not told you that?
No.
Well, I'm glad we're telling everyone now.
Yeah, wow. People are probably like, huh? She had a corporate job?
Yeah, now I look like a stalker. So
Yeah.
No, but an absolute honour to be able to sit down with you again. Thank you for coming. Now, as we were just saying, I've been fortunate enough to read you a few times now over the last few years. I think our last one is around probably 2022. So I'm excited to catch up and hear what's been going on. But one of the things I find most fascinating about you, Rosalia, is that you've got this real front-facing image and you're really a good leader in your industries, especially when it comes to fashion and lifestyle and creative. But you've got this really just deep spiritual side to you that maybe most people don't understand or don't know. Maybe you need to explore it a little bit more.
Maybe I do. I feel like those who know me are not surprised. And will completely say that I'm such a homebody. And I always say, like, it can sound so like cringe, but I'm like, Rozalia Russian is a job. And when I show up or, when I'm out, like, I'm essentially working, but that's not who I am at home. Like, it's the same person, if you know what I mean. But ultimately, I just love being at home with my husband and kids, and we spend so much family time alone together, and it's things that obviously you don't see necessarily on social media, but I do have that real distinct, this is work and this is my life. And maybe that's why as well people who follow me would notice that I barely post on the weekends, and that's because I'm just like, I'm off to 3 basketball games, I'm off to footy games, I'm off to training, birthday parties, we're having, families, like our friends over for dinner, and it's that essential time for me to switch off. And it's almost like I work Monday to Friday and come the weekends, I'm really, not that I shut down, but I shut off and I surround myself by just family and friends.
So being able to separate like the public image of Rosalia into the personal one, did you find that sort of a hard transition, especially as your profile rose? And how do you sort of deal like even with maybe being approached in public when you're with the kids? Like, do people actually approach you when you're with your family?
Yeah, people do approach, and I'm always happy to say, and I love meeting people. I love hearing about their story, and I love them when they're like, oh, I've been following you since I was a baby, and because I ultimately for me social media is a way to give back, and again, I'm giving fashion advice back and I'm giving beauty advice back and family life back. But I am so grateful for my followers and for being able to be in this position. But having done it for so long, I guess it was a way for me to be able to cope because, you know, ultimately we're putting our lives, you know, to be criticized, good and bad. And I understand that. I don't just expect everything to be sunshine and roses. It's like any job. There's, you know, positive things and there's negative things. For me, ultimately having that, well, that's work, Rosalia. So it's like if someone doesn't like my outfit or if someone doesn't like the collection that I brought out, well, that's not me taking it personally. That's them, you know, not having, I guess like, criticizing my work essentially, and they're more than entitled to do so. So I guess it was a way for me to kind of create that boundary and not take everything so personally that it's not me as a person that they don't like. It's just, you know, my collection sucked. So, which is,
well, no
you know,
one thinks that, to be fair. But, you know,
Yeah.
that's obviously a really big lesson to learn as well, especially over your career. Like, how did you cope with that at the very start? Like, can you remember the very first time someone criticized you? Like, because, you know, I can appreciate even listening to your story as well, because I call myself, like, I'm David, but I'm also David the medium. But I'm also quite polarizing in what I say, and people have a lot of opinions around it. But, like, obviously when you were starting out, did you have a goal about where you saw yourself going, or were you just sort of having fun with it and it sort of naturally grew organically?
No, I never ever started out thinking that I could make a living out of this. So people may not know that I met my husband when I was 19, and at the time he had a nightclub called Eve.
We all remember Eve very well.
Yeah, within that nightclub, you know, I was thrust kind of like in that world where there was so many different, you know, celebrities and sportsmen who would come down, and I think that everyone was just naturally interested in the owner's girlfriend at that time. So, you know, I was very fortunate. We've been going to all these different like events and the races and essentially in this scene since I was 19. So it's a really long time. And I've seen the good and the bad, you know, throughout those years. And I've completely forgotten what your question was.
Welcome to my world. No, so it was more about like, you know, when you were starting out, not only how we deal with criticism, but also where did you see yourself going? Yeah.
No, yes. So then that's right. I still remember I had MySpace and I had Facebook, and then I still remember Nick actually showing me, he's like, oh, there's this new social media app called Instagram, you should join. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I joined and I started doing those really bad mirror selfies. And from that, it would be like, oh, heading out, you know, to Eve, and this is, you know, just a photo of my outfit. And people would be like, oh, where's your skirt from? Or what blush color are you wearing? And then I started being like, oh, okay, here's my outfit. And you know, not tagging, because I don't think tags were even possible then. I think it was just mentions. Wearing an age skirt, wearing, you know, NARS blush. And I think I just naturally started gaining a following from that. Then I got married and was, you know, had our daughter Willow. And even when I was after our wedding, I remember sitting on the plane, just like so hungover, and all these like different people, because I was on private back then, all these different people were trying to request to view my page. I'm like, well, weirdos, who would want to follow me? Like, I don't know you. Why would you want to follow a stranger? So I would just like block, not accept anyone.
All these poor people now are like,
I know.
Rozalia Russian blocked me for 10 years ago.
I know. 10 years on, they're still blocked or even longer. But no, it was never a thought. It was just something that naturally came. And I think that's why maybe so many people have been along for the journey, where I get messages all the time saying, oh my God, I remember when you got married, or what happened to your rabbit Flopsy? Like, we're going way back.
Oh, what did happen to Flopsy? Oh no. Maybe Flopsy will come forward today.
Maybe
we can bring forward
animals.
No,
Flopsy went to live on a farm where he was much happier, rather than chewing my shoes and chewing the skirting boards in our house. But yeah, and I think maybe that's why as well, a lot of people say, you know, how is it that you're still doing what you're doing? And I think it's that journey. People have been on that journey and they've seen me grow up, and now they're seeing my kids grow up as well.
So that's one of the things I really appreciate, because, you know, we've known each other for a good 4 or 5 years now, but understandably, you know, given the presence that you had, I knew of you before then anyway. But I think there's this real sort of inspirational energy to you that maybe you're not even aware that's necessarily there. And I really want to unpack that with you today as well. But one of the biggest things, and I've been talking about this regularly a lot on social media myself, and I even mentioned it with you recently when I did a Glamour on the Grid video, but there's such a very strong connection between spirituality and also our fashion and what we wear. And I think, again, you're a really good poster girl for that, because even with what you wear, I think it gives a really good insight probably for yourself about how you're feeling about where you're at, but it just gives an audience probably an even deeper understanding, because our clothes really do represent who we are. And energetically, it's a really good sort of connection. So I think there's a lot to explore there, because I really feel for you, there's going to be a lot more to come around that. And as I was saying, like I talked about you in my Glamour on the Grid video. So for anyone that hasn't watched that, it's still on my wall. So definitely go and look. But what I did, for all those that don't know, and I thank you for being a part of that, even though I didn't even tell you I was doing it, but like, thanks for liking it. But essentially what it was me looking at some of the attendees of the Grand Prix Glamour on the Grid and really sort of reading messages and deciphering what their fashion was saying about what's coming up for them. And as we were just saying, I think what you were wearing and the way that your energy was showing it really was an interesting sort of middle ground for you at the moment, I think, Rosa, because what I want to be able to do, and thank you for being the first, by the way, but when I have guests on my podcast, like I really want to get down into the spiritual side of things with them as well. And, people know you, but maybe they haven't seen this side of you. So I'm really interested to unpack that with you. But what we would sort of touch on before, like I've been fortunate enough to read for you a few times now, and I'm interested to sort of hear your perspective on spirituality and readings yourself, because when I read for you the first time in 2020, before that, had you ever delved into anything like this before? Like, had you had readings before? Had anyone ever done your cards or anything like that?
No, never.
Yeah. What about growing up with families? Is anyone in your family ever open to it?
No, never.
So
no
who
one's
forced you
ever
into a
done
reading with me?
Yeah.
You have to thank Tully for that.
I know, I know, yeah.
So I posed the question to you because we're going back, years now. But after your first reading, how did you find that sort of maybe like changed your viewpoint on things or your viewpoint on life in some ways? Did it change? Like how have you incorporated that readings or the readings we've done over the last few years into daily life? Like, has it helped you gain a stronger understanding of maybe what happens when we cross over? Do you have the faith and belief that your loved ones are still watching over and guiding? Like, how does that look like for you?
I think what blew me away from your first reading that I did with you, and then also from the second reading, was that we're being watched all the time by by our loved ones who passed on. I think it really gave me that understanding that there is more, and that we do live on. And whether you believe it or not, I definitely now do believe it.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Because like even when I read for you, I think one of the things that really struck me most at the start energetically is that you are very, very intuitive. And I think your ability to be able to read people in all sorts of situations is really quite unique. And like even as we're tuning in now, P.S. we're tuning in everybody, so we may as well get into the gist of it. But like there's a lot sort of going on with the abdominal area at the moment for you. And I think at the moment, like correct me if I'm wrong, but you're actually doing a cleanse, is that correct?
Yeah. I am, yeah.
So what you will find, and this is very common for females in general, but females actually sort of stress and anxiety through the abdominal area. So that can impact not only on reproductive health, but also digestion and gut and everything like that. Now, when I'm tuning into you, Rosa, I'm actually getting a really cold burning feeling sort of through the stomach, which is actually a lot of energy moving through. Now, have you sort of noticed symptoms like that over the last few weeks in particular? Like personal question, but what have you sort of been dealing with through the gut right now?
Well, I have just discovered that I have psoriatic arthritis. And so that's why I'm doing a anti-inflammatory health, like cleanse, and trying to get to the root of the problem. So there's obviously something that's not quite right happening with me internally that's causing inflation. So that's my current health journey.
Yeah. And do you find Western medicine's addressing it well, or do you feel like you're getting the answers that you want?
No. So I did go to see this professor, and he basically just said to me, yep, I've got this drug for you to take. It's called methotrexate, which is like essentially, it's a chemotherapy drug. And he was like, don't worry about the side effects. It only happens to 1 in 3 people. And I'm like, okay,
that's pretty high.
That's pretty high. And I'm like, okay, what are the side effects? He's like extreme fatigue, low mood, hair loss. I'm like that already without taking this drug. So I was so disheartened and just felt so flat after seeing him. And I was really lucky. I was crying to Sarah, who is a good friend and who's here today as well. And as I sit there on the phone crying to my friends, and she got me in to see an amazing kinesiologist. And now we're going down a real holistic kind of, journey where it's not just addressing the problem, as in like not trying to just fix my fingers. It's like, well, why is this happening? So I think I'm on like week 2 of the cleanse already.
No, I like that.
And the inflammation has definitely gone down.
Yeah, how good. Because I never want to take away from Western medicine because obviously there's so many benefits to it. And, I say to everyone, if you're in a car crash, don't go to an acupuncturist, go to the doctors.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing with Western medicine for me is our bodies is so energetically connected to everything. And we have to look at our gut kind of like the engine of the car. And there's just so many things that Western medicine doesn't necessarily understand when it comes to energy or even healing. So I say to everyone, and I'm so glad that you're able to take that journey yourself, but if you're sort of going down certain routes and certain journeys and you're not necessarily getting answers, it's a really good idea, in my opinion, to explore other modalities or other sort of healing practices, because it really can provide answers that Western medicine might not pick up on.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like, with all due respect to the professor, the method trick aid, I'm like, do you know what? That's great. But for me, that was a short-term solution. I'm like, but what is it long-term that I could do? And where's the problem coming from?
Exactly.
Like, why is my body causing it to be inflamed? So I feel like it's definitely seeing a kinesiologist and going down a more holistic diet route is definitely a longer process to start seeing results, but I feel like it's going to give me a better long-term result.
Yeah, great. And this is a really great segue actually into, again, touching back on my Glamour on the Grid video, because for all those that haven't seen it, when it came to you, Rosa, when I looked at you and the outfit that you were wearing and the energy that you were portraying in the pictures, great pictures, by the way, but it was really a really good sort of symbol of crossroads is the wrong word, but it was sort of like coming to a really crossroads energy in life. And one of the things I said that I, have always admired about you is not only your tenacity, but this real sort of drive and this intuition that you naturally have. And what I'm finding, and it's also been downloaded by Spirit at the moment for you, as I'm sort of channeling as we're talking, but the next 12 months for you really represents stepping into your own power. And one of the biggest messages there is to not only find your people and align even stronger with who you consider to be your people, but it's to have the faith in yourself with your own drive and your own potential that you actually can achieve absolutely anything that you want. And it's sort of, see, they're tying it back in with the gut as we're talking. So a lot of that's energy moving through, but it's Spirit's kind of wanting you to love yourself even more, to have more trust in your own ability.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's to do not only around how we view ourselves, but if we're going to talk about it in a work sense, it's the main message there is don't allow anyone else to have your power.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for you because I think there's such potential with anything that you're wanting to create, and it's sort of allowing you to create your own golden egg now. That's really the biggest message for 2025 and leading into the beyond, is allowing you to take full control of where you want to be. And if you, because you've got the intelligence, you've got the drive, you've got the faith. Well, so even as I said, faith, they want you to work on having more faith in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for those of you obviously who don't know, well, so a majority of people maybe don't know unless you're, a really close friend or family, is that the last 6 months have been super tough on me. It was ever since I had shingles, and I just feel like I just felt so just flat and just unmotivated to the stage where I'm like, do you know what, maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm so done with all of this. just had no motivation to continue on. And I wouldn't say lost, because I've never found myself as being lost. I feel like I always have like a clear direction, a clear understanding of who I am, what my beliefs are, what's important to me. But you're right, like the last 6 months, I've really been toying with the idea of I am at that crossroads whether I'm just done, like this is it. I'm tired, I've had enough, or do I try and finish kind of like healing myself with all my health problems, and then like as in have some time away and then just refocus and start again and do that next thing of go big or go home. So at the moment, that's where my mind is at.
Even today, like how are you feeling about that right now?
Look, I do. I am so grateful to be in this position, and I feel that I don't want to look back on life and think I had an opportunity to really do something and back myself and I didn't take it. So my gut is telling me, and I know I'm going to take the next step, and I know I'm going to do the next big thing, as in for me. But I feel like I just need a few more months to just try and get my health back on track, and then come back bigger.
No, that's it, and 100%. And I honestly, and again, this has been channeled by Spirit, because we do have a very beautiful female in the room with us, and I do remember her from last time. But your beautiful grandmother, the whole time you were just talking then, just came and put her arms right around you from behind and sort of just held you close.
I know. And see, this is why I can't see you all the time, because you always just make me cry.
It's an emotional release as well.
It is. No, it was. My grandma passed away a couple of years ago and no one knew. And my grandma like raised me. And I felt so guilty. Oh, thanks. Magical tissue appears from the side. Yeah. When she passed away, I didn't tell anyone. And I just had this guilt because she was in hospital. And when she got admitted to hospital, I went and saw her. And I went and saw her. And then at the time, it sounds so silly, but as all families, I was having a family argument, with my brother and everything. And anyway, and I didn't go and see her the last couple of times. And it was just because I didn't want to face my brother. Looking back, sounds so awful. And I made an excuse saying, oh, no, I've got kids sport. I can't remember what it was. And then I was going to go and see her on the weekend, but she didn't make it to the weekend. And it was something that I just felt awful, just this guilt that I had to my grandma, who just raised me and did everything. And then so I didn't tell anyone that she passed. And then I reached out to you and I saw you, and straight away you said to me that she wants you to know that you did your best and she's happy. And she came through straight away.
And it's the exact same message today, because even as you were talking then, it was this real element and a focus from her about like it's everything before that moment that matters.
Yeah.
And it's everything after. And nothing changes the relationship that we have. So it's even to send, because there was an element of unlocking. It's really wanting you to, in some ways, even just forgive yourself. And I appreciate that can be the hardest thing to do, because I've still got traumas about my grandmother crossing over, about the last conversation that we had. But all that she wants you to know is sort of like nothing changes what we have.
Yeah.
And even as you started talking personally about life and about everything that was going on for you personally, that's when she really just came forward and hugged you. And it's that, undeniable validation for you that she will always be a part of your journey and will always be there for you. She's very excited by your new house as well. Because I just saw you have any electrical issues in the house, or do you need to rewire it?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
She's referencing that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, take that as validation. She's always in the house with you, like hanging out. Because what she's literally, it sounds ridiculous because I can't imagine your grandmother would have done this when she was earthside, but she's literally just opened up the wall and she's got a screwdriver and she's playing around in it. Like, so she's trying to fix the electrics in the house or referencing that everything needs to be changed.
Yes.
There's also going to be, I don't know what your plans are yet because I don't think you've even talked about it publicly, to be very fair, but there's going to be a lot of renovation going on in that space as well. Like, it kind of feels like the whole house has kind of been reborn in some ways. What you're going to find is, have you dug up floors yet, or are you going to have to remove floors?
We haven't dug up floors yet.
There's something about ripping up floorboards or carpets.
Yeah.
Probably carpets.
Yep.
It's going to be a treasure trove of information. Like, you're going to be finding old newspapers that may even be relevant to like personal years in your life. Or like argument's sake, like, you know, something symbolic around your grandmother. Like, I wouldn't be surprised actually, because she just highlighted the date, whether you find documents in that house when you're changing it, or when they're, even as they're doing electrical work, they might find things under the house or in the walls where it could even be related to her birthday or even the anniversary of her passing.
Yeah, wow.
And again, that's just her validation that she's around.
Yeah.
But let's take a quick break to talk about CeraQuin's moisturizing lotion with collagen. It's a multitasker made for both the face and body with 5 essential ceramides and collagen to hydrate, firm, and leave your skin feeling silky smooth and radiant. All that glow without the luxury price. Available now at Chemist Warehouse. Yeah, to touch back on even what we were talking about before, because again, it's very directly led by her, is that a lot of what you're feeling physically is a build-up of emotional energy within.
Yeah, being Russian, I can appear very cold on the outset, and that's because, as you said, like, you know, I'm really I follow my gut when it comes to like, you know, meeting people, and necessarily when I meet someone, like, you know, I'm obviously, you know, very happy to meet people and polite and warm, but maybe warm's not the right word, but I'm, you know, it takes me a while to assess someone before I really let them in. And what people don't know is that when I let you in, like, you are in, but when I'm hurt, I am hurt, like really hurt. So, and I'm the harshest person on myself as well. So yeah, a lot of it is all emotional. And even like Nick, my husband, he's like, I have no doubt that all of this arthritis and everything's like, it's stress. Like, it's, you put yourself under that much stress and you're so harsh on yourself that a lot of it is led by stress.
So when you had shingles, I think you said that was about sort of 6 to 8 months ago, was it? Yeah.
Yep.
Because again, your grandmother's tying that in with social situations. So did you find that you had issues with friends around that time, or issues with, like, not necessarily work, but they're referencing the inner circle and sometimes how we can feel let down? Would you put those two events together?
Absolutely, yeah.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
Because you were so self-aware, and as you mentioned, when you let people in, you're letting their energy in as well. Because when we're friends with someone, it is an energy exchange. It's not just the, you know, the fun we have them in the connection, but from a spiritual perspective, we're literally exchanging our souls with them in some ways. And when we feel let down by them, or they betray us, or they hurt us, it is like taking a spiritual shotgun to the chest. And we emotionally feel it, of course.
Yeah.
But then you have to look at your body like a snow globe, and suddenly the energy's been shook and you're all fucking over the place and you don't know which way to face it. So it allows the negative sides of our health to really take control, because when you're feeling healthy, when you're feeling strong, and supported is the key word from them as well. When you're feeling supported, it keeps everything glowing. So essentially, where Spirit's validating for you, a lot of the health issues that maybe you've had over the last year in general, it's not anything medical.
Yeah.
It's got a medical interaction at the end of it, because if we are unable to heal it properly or unable to stop the negative flow of it, it then will manifest itself into the physical. So the best advice that they've got health-wise right now, because we can easily clear it, but it's like we were saying before when you came to the crossroads in life, about, do I want to throw it all in, or am I ready just for that quiet life? Again, that represents the public image of who you are, and that's where you build your strength and the intelligence and the drive. So it's not that you would be throwing Rozalia Russian in, you'd just be throwing that public image away, because that's how we separate ourselves from all the bullshit. Because I dare say the things that have hurt you over the last 6 to 8 months to a year, it's not necessarily the personal stuff. It's come from what the public image of Rosalia has attracted towards it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't really make sense to me, but as long as it makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So to heal, what spirit would love you to be able to do? Oh, this is one of my favorite things actually, Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the tunnel meditation. And not only for you, but also for everybody listening today as well. It's a really exciting is maybe the wrong word, but it's a really beneficial tool to do of how we self-heal. Because every single version of you from the time that you were born, not even born, the time that you were conceived up until yesterday still exists. Now, she's not walking around the streets. She's not on social media right now, but she is still existing up here. And by the time you get to our age, I mean, we're still young, but like, but
absolutely,
30s, yeah,
yes.
I'm late 30s now, God.
Yeah.
Grinder still thinks I'm 29, so that's fine. But there are literally thousands of versions of us that still exist in our mind. And the good, the bad, the ugly, the triumphs and the tragedies, that version of you is still going through that in your mind. So think of, and you don't have to tell us right now, of course, but think of something that's been really fucking difficult for you over the last 12 months. Again, maybe it's something work related. It could be friendship related. It could be something Nick did, something the kids did, whatever, friends, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, the version of Rosa that went through that in that moment still exists up here.
Yeah.
And current Rosa sitting in front of me right now still feels that emotion. She still feels the negativity behind it. She still feels angry by it, frustrated by it, betrayed is a key word by it. So what Spirit wants you to do, and again, and I would love you to do this as well. You don't have to do it right now, but do it tonight.
Yeah.
Is imagine yourself walking, and this is at night. So maybe do it in bed tonight, or even if you get some time to yourself this afternoon where you can actually just focus and meditate. But imagine a really long, dark hallway with a light down the end, and it's a door. And you're walking down that hallway, and you open up that door, and suddenly you're in an MCG-sized room that's so bright, it's like as white as the sun.
Yep.
And what you're going to do, so you can picture the version of you in your head that got hurt, say 6 to 12 months ago. You know exactly who she looked like. And you're going to walk up to a table, and that version of Rosalia is going to be sitting at that table. And you're going to sit down with her as the Rosa that's sitting in front of me right now and be like, hey, I know everything that you're feeling. I know you feel so betrayed. I know you feel so let down. And I know you're ready to just fuck it all off. But here I am. And I've come a long way. I'm still going through it, but I have a different understanding of everything now. And let her know that. Because there's still that version in your mind. And it exists for all of us. It's not just for you. I've got it. Everyone else has it as well. But there's still that version in your mind that's hurting. And her emotions and her energy and everything that she's been going through is still affecting your physical body today.
Yeah.
But if you can talk to her and let her know that she's been supported, you hear her, you feel her, you know exactly what she's going through, then suddenly she will be like, oh, okay, current Rosa's got me. I don't have to feel so betrayed and let down because I feel supported by her.
Yeah.
And if we can do that in all aspects of life, again, because your beautiful grandmother's maybe wanting you to go back to around the moment that she crossed over and the guilt that we feel around that mentally impacts you. She can tell you, but if you can tell yourself, it releases.
Yeah.
And what we find here is that the dam wall that holds all the water back is suddenly able to release. And that has a positive flow on your energy and your body. And what I can dare say will happen then, and keep doing what you're doing medically as well, with especially cleansing, but suddenly the arthritis might be a bit more normal.
Yeah.
Issues with sleep is an interesting thing as well. No one sleeps, but how are you sleeping at the moment?
Terrible.
Yeah. It's also a joy being a mum.
Terrible. No, the kids sleep. I have to wake the kids up. I have terrible sleep because I wake up in the middle of the night. My mind's going about stupid things, like stupid. Sometimes it's songs. Sometimes I'm singing songs in my head.
What songs?
Pop songs.
Okay. Pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yep.
Because when I do a day of readings, if
Mm.
I wake up with a song in my head, and fucking same thing, it's usually at 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
that song will be relevant to my first reading for the day.
Yeah, okay.
So the messages that you may be in the lyrics might be relevant to what's going on in life, or could also be sort of like a treasure map. It could also be giving you hints about how to heal things or how to look at things differently.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I'm so intrigued what song's in your head. First song that comes into your head right now.
Hosier Too Sweet.
I like that song, but I don't know the lyrics that well. So everyone, read the lyrics of that song because that's what's in Rosa's mind as of right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, to lead back into what we were saying before, like I said, when I read for you and even when I sit with you, like there is such an, like, and again, it sounds corny and cliche, but you have such an inspirational driven energy. And it's obvious to anyone who sees you to where you are in life right now because you've got there. And I think the biggest thing for all of us maybe have a public image of some sorts, we always feel like that we have to do more, or we always feel like, oh, should I have done this differently? Like we really do self-reflect and we really do self-judge. And obviously, you know, not only are we doing different careers, but we're completely different levels as well because you're the first lady of Melbourne, as we said.
Stop.
But I'm just excited for what the future can hold for you. And when I say I mean, I am absolutely, but it really comes from spirit as well, because the more that you release and heal all aspects of yourself and incorporate all those past versions of yourself into the current one, there's an unstoppable energy. And the main message is don't be making other people money.
Yeah, I know. You said that to me plenty of times. Yeah.
Because money represents a currency. Like, you know, I always say money is a currency. Currency is a current is energy. Like money's just energy. Like we're not driven by money, but like we also have bills to pay. Yeah, that's what I always say.
School fees to pay,
School fees especially. Yeah. So the more that you step into your own power, you can really be a thought leader and a real industry leader with whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Like obviously you've got a very aligned energy with fashion. But I think business in general, like I think there's such potential for you just to incorporate everything that you like, but even hospitality again, I think there's a lot of potential.
No, that is one thing I'm like.
There's definitely there's something with America there. And I know that sounds nuts now because it might not be talked about, but there's a very strong connection with even Las Vegas. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you open up a restaurant or a club in Vegas, but there's definitely something.
I'm a poker player in Vegas.
Well, yeah. Do you play poker?
No.
Well, so you heard it here first. She's going to learn how to play poker now.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, okay, Rosa, you can fast forward 12 months and we wake up in that moment tomorrow. What are you doing? What does life look like? The kids are completely happy, looked after.
I guess I just want to be at a place where I feel at peace.
How so? At peace with what?
Within myself.
It's a really important thing.
See, I don't even know why. You didn't even say anything and I'm crying again. Because, there's obviously, I feel like, and people who are close to me can see it. I currently have this, I'm holding on to this sadness that I just want to let go of.
It's a really important, brave thing to say because it's incredibly hard for a lot of us to be able to admit that.
Yeah. And, being a mum and being a wife, like I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to be the best version of myself. And then, as you said, obviously something's happened in the last kind of like 12 months that has made me be like this. And I just don't want to be like it anymore. So hopefully in 12 months, that's
you'll get
my goal.
The most important thing is just to keep talking about it with loved ones.
Yeah.
Like there's people around you that you feel like you can lean on. I know a few of them already.
Yeah.
It's just for all of us, but especially for maybe you and I, like I think the hardest thing is because like sometimes we don't want to feel like a burden.
No, I know. I know.
If you've got a public image, like we always have to be that person. And it's a really raw, vulnerable and brave thing to actually admit that, okay, I don't feel as good as I could, or I feel like I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, most important thing is just to, lean on those that love you as much as you love them.
Yeah.
And support. And they've got you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's the self-work as well. That's crucial.
Any other fun predictions to change the while I have you to change the subject?
Oh, gosh. You're going to hate me for saying it, but all she says, I just want her to love herself. Because even your grandmother just rubs your face like this. And she says she's always been like a ballerina or always the beautiful ballerina. Did you ever do ballet?
Yeah.
That'd be it's crazy if you didn't, actually.
Yeah.
You have to, you're Russian.
Yeah.
But I want her to look in the mirror and I want her to love the girl that we all see. They're singing TLC, I'm pretty.
Wow, okay. I didn't even know she knew that song.
No, but no, but I do. So they use my brain like a library.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have mentioned that from the start. Yeah, they use my brain like a library. But if you can look inside you, find out.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a good song. And just I know we mentioned off camera that you're going away interstate soon. It will just be good. Like I even talked about this in my opening episode for the season. But if you can just walk barefoot by yourself, like if you get any opportunity just to be near the water and walk in the water, like I would actually love you to go waist deep.
Yeah,
might be a bit cold up there.
Yeah,
but, it'd be good, refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing.
Because you're a Piscean as well, like me, so we belong in the water.
I know, isn't it amazing? I
actually
hate the water.
Yes, I hate the water as well.
Everyone says that. I'm like, but no, I hate the water.
Yeah.
I love like a, European beach. Where it's like 40 degrees and, I'll go swimming there. But yeah, I don't really like swimming.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a rebirth energy. Like I'm not saying you need to get baptized in the water, but it's kind of like you actually have to duck down. Ooh. What your grandmother has just done, and everyone up here actually, they've covered you in the mud. So again, this is a really good sort of spiritual tool, and I want everyone listening to look at this as well. But what I would love you to do tonight, Rosa, when you go home and have a shower later tonight, I want you to imagine yourself covered in a really thick, like, body mask. I'm losing my breath, which is coming from them as well. And this mud on you represents everything right now that you're not happy with, whether it's people, view of yourself, things from the past, and you're literally going to wash it off you. And after that's washed down the drain, who's still standing?
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to take this like really literally. You'll see me like
Good.
the next day. I'll be like covered in mud, waist deep in the water.
Tag my podcast page. It's going to get shared to my podcast page. You covered in mud in the water. But yeah, the main message is that everyone up here just wants you to know really how supported you are. But the most important thing is to feel it. And sometimes people down here let us down. And they make us feel like shit. And sometimes we do things to ourselves where we feel really let down. But they've always got you. And that's all that she wants to know. Because again, she's just hugging you from behind and pulling you in. And talk even more than you already do to her. Do you talk to your loved ones in spirit?
No, never.
Allow them to show you that they're around. Start testing them. I do it all the time with my grandmother. Yeah. I ask for really crazy signs.
But is it like turn the light on? Like, or...
You can give that a whirl if you want. Is it happening in your house with the electrics?
No, it's not.
Yeah. So one that I talk about really randomly, like because my grandmother was like a second mum for me. Like she helped raise me with my mum, and she crossed over in 2016. But since I've become David the Medium since that time, like I now ask her for really random signs. And this was like last year, but I asked for a pink octopus because where are you going to find a pink octopus?
Yeah.
But I was watching the ads on TV and the pool toy came on. It was a massive pink octopus and it happened to be on TV for longer than it should have been in an ad.
Yeah.
And I never saw that ad again.
Really?
So allow them to show you that they're with you.
Yeah.
All that they want you to know is that the kids are completely validated and it's just about, again, personal relationships. And she's also saying, like, let go of feeling like things have to be a certain way, especially when it comes to family. Like not so much Nick and the kids, but even like brother, mum, dad. How old are you now?
I mean,
in her 30s. Okay.
Rude.
That is literally, I know, that is literally, edit that part out. That's the worst question you can ask a lady.
No, 37.
42. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, like, okay, you're 27, where did you think you would be at 37? And you don't have to answer that, but let go of anything that you feel, and like I dare say you probably maybe even done things that you never thought you would do. I remember when I read you last time, I was like, you're going to be working with Louis Vuitton. And you did.
Yeah.
Was that in the cards back then? This was 2022.
Oh, I can't remember. Again, but I told you off camera, my memory is like a sieve. It goes in one ear and out the other.
So I can just say anything.
I'm the worst. Yeah. You could say anything. I'm like, oh my God, he's amazing.
He predicted that.
He predicted it. Yeah. I do actually, oh no, I won't say this. I do remember though, you said to me that you're going to live in a suburb because we've been looking for a house for a while. And you said, oh, I won't say what letter the suburb starts with. And I'm like, no. Anyway, I completely forgot about it until the other day. And it was right.
Oh, is that where you're living now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Should have helped you find a house, actually. That could have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you happy where you are?
Yep.
Good. Okay, well, I'm just excited for you. I really am. And everything I feel also comes from spirit. And as we were saying, if you can feel like you can just continue to delve into the past versions of Rosa who need to be heard, need to be felt, and incorporate them into you. And like I said, I think you're unstoppable. I think the best for you is yet to come. I really do. And I think whatever you're wanting to achieve will find its way to you. It really will. And I've just decided for you to just step into that, and the rebirth of you will be the most authentic version yet. So
can't wait.
We're all excited.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Rozalia Russian.
No, thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you.